Thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you about your home. My hope today is that we get to the bottom of how to get your property sold fast and for the most amount of money. I go over my marketing plan and service plan. In my experience, there are 3 things that will determine whether a property will or will not sell. The first, how well it's priced. I would absolutely love to tell you that you or I control pricing. You get to choose whether or not the property sells or doesn't, but the marketplace gets to determine at what price your property will actually sell. Any property is only worth what buyers are willing to pay. I hope this makes sense. That's awesome capitalism. We have a process that we do with our real estate team called the 3-3-3. We will discuss this by the end of this presentation. After you decide that I'm the right person to sell your property, we'll go through pricing your home if we decide to get to that point together. Upon your making the smart decision to hire me, I'm going to give you 3 active listings, 3 pending listings, and 3 sold listings. From that information, we're going to compare each one of those property types, and just from that information, you are going to see what the high and low pricing brackets are for your property. Our goal is to get right in the middle to the low side. Overpricing allows the competition lower homes to use you and your property as a trampoline. Today's marketplace is a beauty pageant, not a price war. Does that make sense? We have to be the prettiest house and it has to be priced correctly. Okay, at the end, my goal is to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. We will know after the first 30 days if we have it priced right because we'll have offers on the property. If we have showings of the property fairly consistently but no offers, we're at least 4 to 6% off. If we have low showings and no offers at all, we're 6 to 12% off. This is based on national statistics. If we only have drive-bys due to my heavy marketing, but they do not call me to come in, then we're at least 12% off. That's why in 30 days, we need to reevaluate the pricing and marketing strategy. I hope this strategy makes sense. The second way to determine that the property will or will not sell is how it shows and how well we communicate. What I mean by that is how we're going to showcase your property. See, 6 or 7 and 10 years ago, what used to happen is that we would provide a list of homes that we want to show to approved buyers on that day. Now, when my team meets with buyers, they already have a list of properties they know they want to see. They have decided which properties to see before I ever met them, and do you know where they find the properties they want to view? Where? The internet, of course, which means we have to do a really good job not just making sure that the home shows well when they get inside. We'll talk about staging after this presentation. We also have to make sure that we work hard so the property shows well online. This is huge. We're going to take extra time to make sure that your home will have a great virtual tour by touching up the photos. We need bold colors so that your grass is as green as can be and your reds are bright, etc. And we'll Photoshop out the hoses or any blemishes and of course create awesome videos. I will do whatever possible to make sure the property looks like the type of property that somebody would like to get the heck off their couch at home and actually drive over to personally see the inside. I'm sure you agree there is a much better chance of buying your home once they actually see your nice home. Between videos, photography, Photoshop, this is some of the work we will do to make sure that the property is showing the best. Having also been a mortgage banker for many years, I've learned from doing this long enough to know the number one complaint I get from sellers is the lack of communication. Why my clients choose an agent like me is because of my marketing plan and internet expertise. But the biggest reason is communication. I'm going to make a promise. You're not going to be frustrated with the lack of communication. So I will make a commitment. I'm going to commit to communicate with you every single week. I will contact you every week from the day I list your home to the day I sell it. You will be able to call me at the office anytime you want. I will give you my email address and cell phone number, and you can text me anytime 24/7. Marketing. The third way that will determine if your home sells or not is how well it's marketed. This is the one thing that I really control 100% other than my awesome videos, photography, and the communications. You are really in charge of how well your property shows. I am an expert at marketing properties, and it's my opinion that your property requires professional marketing that takes things to a higher level. The National Association of Realtors does a profile study every single year of how buyers found the actual home they purchased. When the NAR surveys buyers and asks, "Where did you first learn about the property that you eventually bought?" I use this study's results every year to adapt my listing presentation into something that could work to market my properties better and sell them faster for my clients. Now, let's quickly go through each one of these categories so you can see how and why I adapt my marketing plan to work in this particular model. The National Association of Realtors determined that real estate agents are really important. NAR reports that 35% of all properties sold last year sold because the agent suggested to a fellow realtor that they should come and view the listing. 1/3 of all our sales is huge, and because this number is so large, we have to have a marketing plan in place that allows us to market directly to real estate professionals. Our marketing plan is to send electronic flyers to other real estate sales agents in the market, not just once, but continually during the entire time your home is listed. We make sure that we get virtual tours up right away so all the agents can see it, and we're going to stand up at our local realtor's office meetings and talk about the benefits, prices, and features. And I'm going to commit to you that I'm going to be in constant communication and, with your permission, honest communication. If a buyer tells me something, I want to give you the information exactly the way they said it. For instance, if they walked in and said that the house didn't smell good, I'm going to call you and say that the buyers say your house didn't smell good. So far, is there anything that another agent said that they would do to market the property directly to other real estate professionals that for some reason I forgot to mention? If so, please make note of what I have left out so that I can include it for you. The next one is online marketing. The National Association of Realtors reports that online marketing is extremely important. In fact, we know that 43% of buyers found their homes they purchased online. Again, 43% of actual buyers surveyed from the NAR say that they purchased the home they live in by first seeing that home online. That's pretty amazing. Also, important to know is that home buyers used real estate professionals when buying their property at a whopping 86%. This is massive because that's so high a percentage, we need to have a marketing plan that markets our properties directly online in the most effective manner. We figured out the 5 most efficient and effective buckets where we can market your property to the most amounts of buyers in the shortest amount of time. The first one is brokerage websites. Our technology allows us to market your property in a variety of brokerages across the nation. For instance, your property will be showcased on RE/MAX.com, ERA.com, Coldwell Banker, etc., which means no matter whether you prefer one company logo over the other, we all will showcase all properties found on MLS. The second bucket is the national portals, websites like Zillow, Homes.com, Realtor.com, Realestate.com, etc. To advertise your property and effectively market on these sites, you need to hire an agent that understands how to manipulate these portals so that results of the property comes up as fast as possible. Some of these things are easy, some of them are based on the number of photographs we post, and some of them are based on how well or how often they are updated. We do all of those things to get you the best results. Did I mention we create awesome video? Additionally, the classified services, websites like Oodle, Kijiji, and Craigslist. Probably the most notable one is Craigslist. You know, the funny assumption about Craigslist is that most people think that they have to have a credit score below 400 to shop on it. Not true. It's also been very effective for marketing properties internationally. A lot of international clients are using Craigslist because a lot of markets there don't even have MLS. I'm sure that makes sense, and that's why we have over 100 Craigslist accounts. The average agent will post a home there once or twice, then forget about it. We place ads every 2 days like clockwork until your home sells. In addition to classified services, we're going to also market your property in search engines. Another powerful tool we use are the search engines like Google, Yahoo, MSN, and Bing. Which one do you use? I prefer Google. Our strategy is to make sure our properties and websites with our properties and our services are featured on different search engines. In fact, when you look at a Google search like this, you'll notice there are 2 places where properties can show up. The first one where the arrows are pointing right now, these are PPC or pay-per-click advertising. This second strategy is to use search engines in our favor with keywords to make sure that my site with your property is showcased. This area is from the natural, organic results of people searching and traffic activity. This involves a process that you don't need to know about or care about that is called search engine optimization, SEO. I figured out that the websites that accurately brand and use blog and videos, plus my other strategies, will make sure that your property shows up at the top of the list. This is something your agent should understand, and this is something I deal with passionately. I'm an expert. Another benefit of working with me is that if you want to provide me a set of keywords that you think will help sell or market your property, I will research them and will work on advertising those keywords ASAP. Just text or email them to me anytime. After the search engines, we have the last bucket, social media. We have to include these in the marketing of your property just because this is where people spend time. Now let's talk about Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and etc. I know that a lot of people go in there, so we use various strategies to market your property on social media. So we're going to shoot a video, we're going to tweet about it, and post it in our fan page on Facebook. And we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that we get as many people as possible to see it. I want to work together to get your property sold in the least amount of time for the most amount of money. Okay, has any salesperson that you have spoken to said that they were going to do something else online for some reason that I forgot to mention? If so, please let me know so I can add it to my things to do for you. Okay, onward. The National Association of Realtors reports that signs and flyers are still really important. In fact, they said that about 15% of all properties sold because of on-site advertising signs and flyers. Now we have a variety of strategies that we use to make sure that we maximize the amount of inbound phone calls and the amount of buyers' inquiries. Additionally, we have some tips and tricks that we use to get buyers that may think they may not have enough equity in their property, but they call us and they would be interested in your home. For instance, on top of the typical property sign, I may put a sign that says, "Buy this home and I'll sell your home for free." What this does is this gets sellers that maybe think that they don't have equity in their homes to call me. I then can give them an opportunity to view the property and try to get them to maybe rent their home or maybe sell their home or take a loan against it, etc., giving them options to get into your home. I was a mortgage banker for many years and I often find solutions many average agents overlook. Isn't this a pretty cool strategy? Now, in addition to signs, we also do flyers, of course. And now we're down to other. The NAR survey shows in this situation that other that maybe if we took a real estate book, Harmon Homes, ads in the newspaper, and all of the other publications, and we stack them on top of each other till they hit the ceiling, the funny thing is, it only results in 3% of sales, and the traditional, unsuccessful salespeople spend 90 to 100% of their marketing budget on ad campaigns that no longer sell homes. I used to put homes in these real estate books you see here, never sold a single home using it. Never again. I just went through a lot of information, and based on this, is there anything that another agent has said that they would do to market your property that I forgot to mention? Can you think of anything at all? Anything that another agent has said that they would do that I just forgot to mention here? If I combine all these strategies together, do you think your property will sell? Do you think we have discovered the problems and the reasons your property hasn't sold? This list is an example of the over 180 things that I and my team needs to do to get just one home sold. You're probably assuming, based on all we have just discussed, that I charge a lot more than everybody else. While we do so much more, I pretty much charge whatever everybody else does. Here, each dollar bill represents 1%, and as you can see, I actually have $6 bills that equals 6%. Now, right off the bat, what most sellers don't understand is that 3% goes to the sales office that brings the buyer to the transaction. Yep, 3% is paid directly to the buyer's sales agent at closing. This obviously leaves my company with 3% to do the marketing and servicing of your property. This is a lot of money, so I want to break it down and itemize it this way. One of those dollar bills goes to the general office expenses, lights and staff phones, licensing, taxes, and stay in business type of expenses. The average realtor makes 50% of the 3%. I invest 1% into the marketing and servicing of your listing. This I use in advance to showcase your property and get it sold with the least amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Now, the 1% that is left over is what I use to buy my shoes and dinner with the wife. In other words, buy stuff for my family, basically my profit. So my point here is, we know that an average salesperson is paid 3% and must pay 1% to advertising and marketing and 1% to staying open paying light bills, taxes, rent, etc., maybe franchise fees. That leaves him with $1. If this salesperson has 1% to use for advertising but has to choose between marketing ads or feeding his family, which do you think that sales agent will choose? Of course, he needs to feed his family and kids and cut back on marketing the property effectively. And then you're back to square one. What I charge is fair for my tons of services, but what I care about is what you net and getting you the most amount of money in the least amount of time so you can move on to the next exciting chapter of your life. I really want to get your property listed and on the market today, and I only charge 6%. Does this work for you? Will you hire me now so I can get to working for you ASAP? Great! I'll take that as a yes.